today I'm back out here at the pond, carping for carp. At the same spot as usual. It's kind of a windy day, so I wanted to come and challenge myself and see if I could catch a carp on a windier day. Seeing as last weekend I came to this exact pond and I ended up catching a nice small common carp. It was my first catch of the year, got me off my blanking streak, so let's see if I can catch another. Got my first rod set up, I've got two rods with me as per usual. This rod here is out in the shallower end and I'll cast one into the deep end. Just got to experiment with the waters today, see where these fish are at. I'm not alone today, Arnie's down there with his rods, so we've got about 4 or 5 rods out combined. I've got 2, Arnie's got 3, sorted. We'll have at least 1 carp. Just loaded the bait up on this rod. I've put ground bait and a method feeder, and I've got a krill, a red wafter on there, so that'll stand out to the carp. It's about time I cast this. I'm just going to go in the deep end with this one because my other one's already in the shallow end, and I'll underarm cast because the pond ain't that big. Well, there you are, that's perfect. Directly in the middle. Right, so all my gear is now set up. Both of the rods are out, one in the deep end, one in the shallower end. Both got the krill wafters on, both on method feeders. So I'm fishing evenly with the same baits. I know I should be experimenting with them, but I'm not. I'm going with what I usually do. We're just setting Arnie's rods up here. They're both on the rod pod. Got a massive reel on that one, which is pretty cool. He's got 2 method feeders on them, so he's the same as me. And I'd say you should cast one under that tree over there, because last week that seemed to be where all the carp were coming out from. And of course both of them rods are going to be casted out in the shallower end. That's because he's up there fishing. And you often tend to get more carp from that shallow end, so up there's the winner. Down here's, like, it's rare you catch one from down here. But on a day like today, you never know, do you? But for now, I'm just going to sit here on the peg and wait for this rod here, preferably this rod because that's the only rod I ever catch carp on, not my other one. So this rod here, just go right for that to go. I'm on a journey around the pond to go and bait up some areas because I'm going to be casting underneath this tree here from over there. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to chuck a bunch of this bait under there to lure the fish around. Just going to pour some of this into my hand. It's a bit of a top heavy bag, so I'm going to spilling loads of it. But I'd say around about there. Perfect. 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 That's that done. Let's hope that lures some fish over. The ducks at this pond are an absolute pain. We just casted one of the method feeders in and the duck swims right down and tries to bite at it. We'll be ending up catching a duck before we catch a carp. So yeah, that's one bad thing about this pond. The ducks are a nuisance. I suppose it's just like the canal though, really. The ducks are a nuisance on there just as much as they are in here. It's a lot colder than I expected it to be. I think it's because there's a motorway over there and the wind's blowing from all the trucks over here. It might be that, it might not be. It might just be genuinely cold and windy. But it's supposed to be raining in about 2 hours from now. So that's how long we're going to be staying for, 2 hours. So let's just catch at least 1 carp within that 2 hours and we're rolling. But yeah, I think all of this wind and stuff, that's the lead up to the rain later on. So I can only imagine the rain's going to be horrific. I'm just wandering around the pond and I found this seat, so I'm going to have a sit here for a second under this willow tree. And I'm wondering, next time I come to the pond, or maybe even in this session, I don't know, we've got the whole pond to ourselves so we could do whatever we want really, but under this willow tree could be a prime location for carp, because I know carp like to hide in overhanging bushes and stuff, so just like pike, they're like cover basically. So I might just throw a little handful of bait under there shortly and come back. I'll come down there later on if I'm not catching in my current peg. So in my hand here I've got a bunch of pellets, little bits of bait, so I'm just going to evenly spread that out under there. That's baited up now. Give it 10 minutes and I'll cast more under there, I say. Walking back to the pond now, but I'm just exploring the margins here, just looking for signs of any carp in there. All I can see is ducks at the minute, but if I see any like ripples on the top of the water, any action basically, I'll cast over there and see if I can get bites from them. I'm just at the tree where I baited up earlier, and to be fair, there is a few ripples coming up from underneath the branches there, meaning there's carp around. Just give it 10 more minutes, let the bait start to kick in, let the fish smell it, and then boom, we'll have them. So I think it's about time I get this black rod here casted underneath the willow tree I baited. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to pick it up and give it a reel in, strike, nothing's on, as I suspected. But I'll just reel it in, put some more ground bait in, the waft is still on so I won't need to refresh that, and then boom, cast it under the tree. All I've done here is refresh the ground bait. As you can see, I've put some more of the smelly stuff in and the wafter's just balanced on top of it. And I like this ground bait because it smells quite natural, but it also smells a bit sweet at the same time. So the carp will smell that and he'll think a tasty meal's waiting for him, and then I'll catch him. So I've got the rod in hand and I'm just going to make my way down to the other end of the pond where the willow tree is. I'll walk all the way down there, cast it out. Right then, I've now arrived underneath the tree and I'm literally just going to drop it in, no need to cast. Drop it in right where I baited up and then walk the line all the way back up there. Slight issue, the meth feeder has detached itself from my rod, so now I've got to retie this. Basically what happened, as I was walking back up, the thing got snagged and the line just snapped. I managed to retrieve it though. I've got it all retied now, but I'm not going to cast down there. I've seen some sign of life directly ahead of me over that way, so that's where I'll be casting now. Just give it an overarm cast this time as well. Amazing. Time to give this one a recast as well. It was over there for a good hour, but now we're on to the second hour of the session. I think I'm going to move it just ahead. So I'll underarm cast it because I don't want it to go too far, I just want it to get on the island. So you ready? Bam. Spot on. We've just been informed by the pool owner. He said this week the pool's not been active at all really, and that if you need to catch the fish, you've got to land the bait right on top of them, which is quite hard when you don't know where the fish are. I've been looking for signs of them, which is why I casted right over there and in there, because I've been seeing ripples come up every now and then, and a few bit of bubbles. But that's about all I've seen today. Not much action at all. But the carp just seem to be pretty still. They don't seem to be moving at all. So the ducks have been at my bait. I casted it over by the island on my cork rod, and the ducks just battered the bait. They pulled the line, and I thought I'd hooked onto one at one point, but I reeled it in, and now I've just rebaited that, and I'll cast it out once the ducks have gone. Look at him and his little bird. The two ducks just sat there waiting for me to cast my bait back out so they can eat it again. The ducks have now disappeared, meaning I can cast this thing back out again, underarm, and just, that's a bit of a better cast than last time, to be fair. I think I've got a fish on this rod. The line's just gone proper tight. Oh, I think, man, I thought I could feel something on it then. Not even lying, but nah, it's just the method feeder again. Someone was playing with it then though. Right, this rod's just been bit out by a fish. I'm not sure if he's on or not, but I'll give it a go. No. You saw that, there was definitely a fish on then. The rod tip bent. I've got right back out there into that spot where the rod bent at, because I saw the fish swim off when I struck, and I was gutted. That could be my only chance, but I'm sure I'll get another one, because I've casted right on top of it. Fingers crossed, eh? So far, we've had an hour and a half, maybe a bit more, of blanking. Very boring. The only sign of life I've had is that bite I've just had on my rod, which I missed and I'm gutted. And Arnie's had a little bleep on his bite alarm at one point. Bite alarm, not bite alarm. He had a bite on that, but nothing. So this session, which is a very slow session, is currently on its way to an end. We've got about 20 minutes before we've got to leave. 20 minutes till we've got to pack up actually, and we'll leave in like half an hour. But not too long left to catch this fish, so we're going to stick out, maybe chuck a bit of bait out to try and lure the fish around. But if they don't bite, they're not biting, so then it'll be another blank session. But we've not blanked just yet, so don't switch off just yet. And I'll be honest, this rod here, I've been watching that little tip right there, and it's been having so many twitches, like unreal amount of twitches, but the carp just hasn't bit the wafter. So my best bet is it's like swimming around by the ground bait, eating all that up, and it's not found my wafter yet, but I'm sure it will soon. We've had a random gust of a bit of sunlight. I know it's not much, but that could be a good thing. It's landing directly on me. As you can see, it's got a lot brighter out of nowhere just. But if that's landing on the water, the carp might decide to come out and play for the last 5 minutes. First few raindrops have just landed and I can feel them, and it's cold and it's not nice. So I'm going to bring in one of my rods, leave my good rod out, just in case I can get any last minute bites. I doubt I will, but there's a good chance. So I'm going to bring in my black rod right now and get it packed up. All of this stuff, my rod, my mat, my bags and everything, that's all packed up, apart from the one rod here and my chair. I'm leaving this out because I've got 10 minutes until the lift arrives, meaning there's 10 minutes more to catch a fish, so I'm leaving this out till last minute. Because honestly, you never know when you're carp fishing. You could always get that last minute catch. It's happened to me many times before. You're about to leave and the rod just pulls itself in and you catch yourself a fish. And for some reason, I've got a feeling that that's about to happen. Especially because it's in a location where I know there is a fish. Thing is, that duck couple, they're still there, trying to eat all my bait. They keep diving under, right where my method feeder is. So that's got to be scaring the carp away. I blame it on the ducks while we've blanked today. Right, it's time to bring this rod in. I have to leave, sadly, so strike and absolutely nothing is on, as I suspected. But, oh well, I had a take, put some faith in the session, but we lost out, so let's pack this away. All my gear is now away, meaning the session's come to an end, so I'm going to have to wrap the video up here. I hope you all enjoyed watching. Sorry I blanked again. I hate blanking, it's just really annoying, but it happens. You can't catch every time, otherwise it'd be called catching and not fishing. So if you enjoyed the video, please smash the thumbs up button down below. Subscribe if you're new here. Turn the post notification bell on once you've done that as well. Make sure you subscribe. Check out my merch at wilfjonesbrand.com. There's some cool t-shirts on there. There's some discount codes in the description if you want to check them out. But for now everyone, I'll see you all in the next video. Thanks for watching, but peace.